Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Eric Deters Show, May 27, 2025. Today is National Grape Popsicle Day. Now ponder that. I don't know if the other flavors have their day. I assume that they do. But today is Grape Popsicle Day. So go have one and celebrate it. Maybe someone's giving them away free. Trump spoke yesterday at the Arlington National Cemetery and spoke eloquently about the sacrifice. Of all the places I visited in Washington, D.C., when I've been there several times and I did a little tourism, then the Arlington National Cemetery was my favorite place to visit. It was amazing. Trump also spoke this weekend on Saturday, Saturday, at the West Point graduation, and boy, did he let it rip. Woo! He said they were all winners, which they are. And as I said on my Facebook Live, how wonderful it is to have a president that cares about the military. DOGE is officially, along with the Department of Health and Human Resources, has cut 12.3 million people who were 120 years and older in the United States. Insane. New York Rep. Charlie Rangel died. He's been retired. He's passed away. He was 94. Trump thinks about taking the $3 billion that he's cut away from Harvard and sending it to trade schools. He's also announced he's cutting all federal contracts with Harvard. Harvard chose the war. It's not going to turn out well for him. Dan Bongino says the White House is going, not the White House, the Department of Justice and the FBI is going to reopen a few investigations, including the cocaine. Where was it? Who had it? Who brought it in? What happened? It'll be interesting to see what the FBI investigations found prior to Dan Bongino diving into this. Hillary Clinton bashed all Republican women who supported Trump. Boy, is she a basher. She's a broad basher. All those Republican women are deplorables. Joe Biden, you can't make this up. 300 to 500,000 a speech. You know that speech is probably 30 minutes. Takes a few questions, meets a few people. No one's buying. That guy can't string two sentences together. Why would you ever pay him to come speak? John Deere's agreed to invest $20 billion in the United States. Good for them. And the Democrats are being embarrassed. The New York Times did a story. The Dems apparently have had this big convention for 2024, speaking with American men. If you have to be taught how to speak to American men, chances are you're not going to do very well communicating with American men. And you know what? They can talk all they want. It's their actions. You know, just think about the woke liberal Democratic Party, what they have in common with mainstream Midwestern American males. Nothing. Supersonic artillery shell. You know, they're doing all this supersonic stuff. Well, this is a artillery shell that can go 100 miles at 2,700 miles per hour. Ouch. Traditional. Kamala was upset that Joe Biden, according to the Tapper book, was so angry and upset that he actually put on a Make America Great Again. Kamala, he got you back, didn't he, Kamala? Biden handlers, well, they're now saying, remember I always said it was Jill Biden and Susan Rice. That was two of them. But also Hunter, I said him too. But Mike Donnellan, Steve Ricchetti, and Bruce Reed. Ron McClain called him the Politburo. Running our country unelected. Harvard foreign students. Trump pointed out that the Harvard foreign students pay no money to attend Harvard. He's cutting them out. 4.7, this boggles the mind. $4.7 trillion DOGE found untraceable out of the Treasury. Folks, are you kidding me? And the U.S. senators are alarmed too. How in the hell can we not figure this out? Subpoenas, questioning, Secret Service, FBI, you name it. This is scary stuff. Somebody got that money. And President Trump, through the Department of Defense, has accepted the Qatar plane. They're going to check it out, make sure it's all kosher. I guess make sure there's no secret recording devices, that it's not bugged, who knows. Very interesting. But there you have it. Turning to world news, Trump posted on Truth Social, he thinks that Putin's lost his mind. He says, what the hell? Putin is just gone, Putin is in, here's what I think is going on with Putin. Putin thinks, well, Trump knows it's not his war, so he's thinking he's going to just try to get as much as he can before there is peace. As Trump points out, should have never happened, would have never happened under a Trump presidency. It's not his war. It's Zelensky's, Putin, and Biden's war. He's doing all he can to end it without causing World War III. And I think he'll end up getting it done. But, the fact that it's taken longer, really? All these people that want to get mad at him that he hasn't got a deal yet, really? French President Emmanuel Macron got walloped, and she didn't realize it was being videotaped by Bridget Slap. See, she's behind that wall, so she doesn't think anybody's going to see it. He's on the plane, didn't think anybody'd see it. Wow. He says they were just playing around good nature. I don't think so. Poor guy. She's an older woman, and she might be a transy, so the poor guy's getting abused. Liverpool soccer fans. I think there's about 50 were injured and hospitalized, including children's serious injuries, when a guy's apparently wasn't a terrorist, he apparently was a drunk, ran into a crowd. Lots of pop culture to get into. Rest in peace, Phil Robertson. Part of the Robertson gang passed away. A Penske box truck blew up in a suburb of Chicago. They think it was a gas tank that was leaking. By the way, I was recently driving my truck around with a propane tank and 3 gas cans. And I said, you know what? That's probably not safe. And I took out my propane can and put it in the back seat of my truck. The driver is surviving. Texas, Durrani doctor. I call him a Durrani doctor. This guy gives people unnecessary cancer treatment, only gets 11 years. I told this to a friend yesterday, and it'll shock you. Remember the movie Rust that Alec Baldwin had where he accidentally killed the cinema photographer? That movie, Rust, is one of the best Westerns I have ever seen. I watched it last week. You know what? Hate Alec Baldwin all you want. Rust is a hell of a movie. It bombed out there in the movie theaters, but I'm sure it's going to do well online. I'm telling you, it's great. One of the best Westerns I've ever seen. Dale Earnhardt documentary. I've watched the first 2 parts. It's really good. Looking forward to the next 2 parts. Billy Joel's got some kind of brain disorder, and he's canceled his appearance at Paycor Stadium and every place else. David Geffen, 82. David Armstrong, 32. We're only married 2 years, no prenup in California. Uh-oh. Bruce Springsteen, a tribute band, got canceled in New Jersey over his anti-Trump remarks in Europe. And guess what? John Bon Jovi tried to rev up support for Springsteen, and he got booed. Sorry, Bruce. Your fans are Trump voters. Kim Cootie said that Diddy broke into his house, unwrapped his Christmas present, and locked his dog in the bathroom. Diddy's freaking messed up. More wild stuff coming out today. Rod Stewart at the American Music Awards last night received the Lifetime Achievement Award. Sports Without Boundaries. Thunder went up 3-1 by beating the T-Wolves 128-126 yesterday. The Canes held on. It's now 3-1. They won their first game against the Panthers 3-0. The Knicks play the Pacers tonight, and the Stars play the Oilers tonight. Travis Hunter got married. Yeah, the second pick of the overall draft going to Jacksonville. He is now married to a sweetheart. Ross Chastain won the Coca-Cola 600, and Alex Palou won the Indianapolis 500. And the United States teenage boys won the World Hockey for the first time since like the 1938 or something. And Acuna, the MVP of the Atlanta Braves, came back this weekend. I think it was on Friday. First pitch, home run. That's the way to return. And your Shakespeare today is, your insult, do not be a blood-sucking, mammering sponge. Do not be a blood-sucking, mammering sponge. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Check out my local news.